This is like the big G8 summit. This is like all the world leaders coming together. And it's really about the worlds colliding.
The dragon pit needed to be big enough to formally have hosted dragons in it, so it couldn't have been any smaller place. And this amphitheater was quite big in Spain during times of the Roman Empire.
As you walk in, you're very awed by it. We are actually working in a genuine gladiatorial pit.
The set extension that we're adding is supposed to suggest a giant domed structure in which they kept the dragons over many, many centuries.
Strange place for a reunion.
It is, my lord.
We don't know what's going to happen. None of the characters do. It can go south very quickly.
The darkness is coming for us all.
And it's incredibly serious. The mood is somber.
So you'll walk into this then.
This is one of the more complex scenes I've ever been asked to shoot. You have almost the entire cast of the show in one place for a very long sequence with a lot of stuff going down and very important and very specific beats to capture.
Hey kid, we're just going to do a pickup that starts with there's only one word that matters, the Great War. Yep. And take it until I fought them.
And each one of those beats has to be captured. If you don't shoot it, it's not there. Like, you can't shoot these things in a generalized way. You have to shoot them very specifically. So you have Cersei seeing Tyrion for the first time in a long time.
Lena gives me a look that I never want to see ever again.
The first time they lock eyes, that's a moment. The first time Euron sees Theon, that's a moment. So do that times 500. And that's kind of what this scene is.
We are all trooping down to the dragon pit, and Brienne spies the Hound, and no one can predict how they're going to react.
What, that last time they saw each other? Yeesh.
Met my brother. That was good. I had a standoff with him, which was great fun.
Remember me?
From the story point of view, it's like, it was exciting for everybody. It's like, okay, new dynamics, new frictions, new everything.
Cersei arrives with the Mountain and Jaime and the Kingsguard, and she's, you know, pretty fierce. And then she realizes that Dany isn't here. Where is she?
She'll be here soon.
And that pisses her off. And of course, Dany arrives on a dragon. And she tries desperately to not be impressed. And then in walks this young beauty of a queen, and she's beyond frustrated on many levels. She can't bear it.
I want a bit of a Joan of Arc look with a metal dress, just like a chainmail dress. This sort of molded, just a black molded coat.
We discussed a lot of kind of covering Cersei up, so she was just sort of locking herself in, more austere and less vulnerable and untouchable.
As she walked away, I wanted something which made you just really on edge. She'd give this really simple, strong image, and then as you see her walk away, it's like, oh, she's like, really, there's something really disturbing about this woman.
The spine that she's done in that felt coat, and she layered it with some sort of leather, so it looks like bone. It's amazing, it's amazing.
Rolling!
To have the Targaryen in Daenerys really start to show her true colours. People, like, this has got real for her now.
I wanted to start going towards the charcoal and the red, because, you know, those are the sigil colours. But it was red on grey, and we had a really lovely pleated red dragon scale. And the chain, it's the dragons, obviously, the 3 dragons. I didn't really want her to wear a crown. I just wanted something which signified status.
Now, can we separate the head a little bit more, or change the position of the head?
Yeah, more lopsided.
Can it be torn so it looks like it's less attached?
Yeah. And even if the neck's extended or something, that looks good, less natural.
3, 2, 1, action!
Well, for me, being a horror nerd, I was slightly giggly, so I was like, oh, my very own zombie.
Action!
As the box comes down, I run out towards the Queen. Go to try and get her, which I've got a chain around my neck, which is stopping me going anywhere.
She's back as a kid, just
realizing that everything her grandma, her nannies told her was real.
I turn round to run towards the hound. He chops me in half.
So that, strangely enough, one white, way more complicated than 10,000 whites, because you're dealing with a white with a lot of detail. So it's behavioral, it's visual effects to make the white look like he's bones and shredded skin and doing a lot of very complicated things, and a lot of visual effects required for that. It's very specific actions, which make a very exciting dynamic sequence, but are very tricky in terms of shooting.
We can destroy them by burning them, and we can destroy them with dragon glass.
And in many ways, there's a scene between Jon and Cersei. He's there to prove to her that there's a bigger enemy for them to worry about than them just kind of fighting each other.
There is only one war that mattered. The Great War.
33 necklace, take 2, sea marker.
We wanted to make it as plausible and believable and terrifying as it was for everybody to think that you were going to enter into that scene that one of the 2 Stark girls was going to kill one of the other 2 Stark girls.
Are you sure you want to do this?
It's not what I want, it's what honor demands.
It's possible to see how this tension between the sisters, a sibling rivalry, could lead to some type of tragic violence between them.
You stand accused of murder. You stand accused of treason. How do you answer these charges, Lord Baelish?
I think for Littlefinger, because he's the consummate player, you don't really expect him to ever get outplayed, but he does get outplayed, and that is like a shock.
The tables are very cleverly turned, much to Littlefinger's, and we hope the audience is surprised.
My sister asked you a question.
None of you knows the truth.
You held a knife to his throat.
This for Bran is an interesting moment in time. This is like something he'd go back to see, 100 years ago.
Bran brings the knowledge, Sansa's the politician, and Arya's the warrior.
You told our mother this knife belonged to Tyrion Lannister.
Eerie scene, because I was speaking to Aiden about it, and he was like, oh, it's a real shame, because I always thought Littlefinger was like a good person, and so I turned around and was like, that's why you play him so well, because you don't play him like he's a bad character, you play him like every single one of his decisions is justified.
What's the worst reason you have for turning me against my sister?
Sansa, please.
I'm a slow learner, but I learn.
You could argue that if anybody deserved it, it's him at this point. But on the other hand, like a lot of very complex characters on this show, you love them and you hate them.
Sansa, I beg you.
What I thought was so great about Aiden's performance is that he really showed a kind of vulnerability and humanity in that last moment before he died.
I loved your mother since the time I was a boy.
And yet he betrayed her.
And I think you really felt that he really loved Sansa.
I loved you.
And it's kind of horrible when he gets killed.
More than anyone.
And yet he betrayed me.
Also nice to probably see Littlefinger really unnerved for once and really backed into a corner and rattled and wrong and sorry and dying.
Sansa!
So for the Littlefinger death, we got Aiden in and we did a live cast of his neck. I mean, for us it was great because it was our one major death that we were going to get to do on this show, and it was like such a huge character. We did a test with Aiden. It was absolutely brilliant.
3, 2, 1, action.
Yes. And I just want to pay tribute to an extraordinary actor. David and Dan and I have had it's been such a privilege to write for him for the past 7 seasons. I think it's safe to say the Game of Thrones would not be what it is without Aidan Gillen. That's a series wrap.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for it's been really amazing to be part of this for the last 7 seasons. I really appreciate, the work that you do, and everyone on the show works so hard, and it's been a pleasure to be part of it. So, thank you. It's been great.
Yay!
Look upon each other and say the words,
I would say the challenge with this sequence was finding a way to present information that at least a good portion of the audience already had in a way that was dramatic and exciting.
The High Septon wed Rhaegar and Lyanna in a secret ceremony.
I mean, it was always meant to be a montage.
Is this something you can see?
The important thing was getting Sam and Bran together because they had varying pieces of the puzzle, but they didn't have all the pieces.
And so to see that actually these were two people in love, and that this whole thing that started off the series of Game of Thrones, Robert's Rebellion, was a total lie.
Jon is not just the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, but he's the true-born son. He's not a bastard.
And that means he's the rightful heir to the Iron Throne, and that changes everything.
Man.
It's great to shoot something that's a revelatory moment. And then, of course, the even bigger revelatory moment.
I think they both know it's wrong. I think they both know it's going to cause problems. But it's that thing, when you suddenly feel that deeply about someone, it's like a runaway train. You can't stop it happening.
You don't even get the relief of how beautiful it could be or should be. It's not good, but it should be, but it's not.
And she's his aunt, so there's that. If that kind of thing would bother you.
Might be the reaction.
I like looking at it and going, oh God, I'm sorry. Let's go again. But the fact he is actually heir to the throne, I can lord that over Emilia every day. Every day.
We tried to contrast the various season endings so that they don't feel too similar. So last season we had a pretty triumphant ending with Dany finally sailing west towards Westeros. You're supposed to feel like, you know, it's like a fuck yeah ending. And then this one's like, oh, fucking no.
As a season closer, it's phenomenal. And from a directing point of view, okay, how do we do that?
Every year, Dan and David have cooked up something that makes us read the outline and the script and just go, holy shit, how the hell are we going to do this?
And what really kind of got me super jazzed, I guess, was when we saw the first conceptual paintings. They're not specific to shots or whatever. They're just like, this is the vibe of this scene. And so they'll do this like beautiful painting of a dragon, you know, blowing blue flame, blowing a hole in the wall. You're like, now I see it. Holy crow, like that is spectacular.
And a lot of it is virtual. There are only so many pieces you can physically shoot. Of course, whatever we can shoot, we did shoot. We have fire elements that were shot that blast against the wall, whites on green screen. We have the Night King on a motion base on the back of zombie Visceron.
For the Ice Dragon, we looked back at the models that we created when Tyrion visited the two sick dragons. Their ribs are poking through the skin, and their skin has become translucent. We added the wound, which is very important, the spear wound that kills him. We also worked on what does his fire look like, because it's not healthy fire. It's it's a magical evil fire.
This sequence is a real proof of just the dedication and commitment of that whole team of people working around the world to make something that's impossible and unreal seem so real and so present.
I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Winter is here, and it's all hitting the fan from all directions.
Yeah, we've talked a long time about seeing the wall come down. It's all getting real.
It's suddenly terrifying. They're breaching the wall. You know, it's happening. And it's an amazing thing, isn't it?